Welcome back to Rise and Shine with Eli, and the topic of today's video is what makes a man high value? One more time, what makes a man high value? Now, I'm sure if you've come across this video, you've also come across many other videos where many men and other women have shared their opinions on what they feel makes a man high value. More so the men, but sometimes the women will share their opinions as well. And I'm here to tell you today, in all honesty, the majority of the videos you've come across regarding this topic are a bunch of fabricated garbage. Okay? They're a bunch of fabricated garbage. And I say that with lots of love, because there's only really one thing that makes a man high value. Okay? And I'm going to tell you what that is. Okay? I'm going to tell you what that is here at the very beginning of this video. And if you want to leave, you can leave. Okay? What makes a man high value is a man that has humility, that is humble, regardless of his financial situation or anything else. Okay. Now, you've come across many other videos where guys and gals are saying, what makes a man high value? Well, he has to make at least $100,000 or $1 million or whatever. No, that's not true. A lot of these men that create these videos sitting in a large mansion or driving a Lamborghini or a Porsche or a Ferrari or a Maserati or whatever, right? They're driving these $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 sports cars or luxury cars, right? A lot of those are just props. It's all staged to give you to give them the appearance that they're extremely high value. So that way they can try to sell you a system on how you can become high value. But what they don't tell you in that system is that they leased all of those, props for their video, the cars, the homes. Sometimes, you'll see, a bunch of hot girls in the video. They're all paid. It's all staged. Okay. So don't believe don't believe and everything that you see out there that people put out and they say it's high value. Okay. Let me share with you what I feel makes me high value as a man. Let me tell you this. Okay. I'm not the richest guy in the world. I make decent money. I don't feel the need to come out and share how much money I make publicly. I've shared it in the past, buried somewhere on this channel, and I even shared it a bunch on a former channel that I used to run that I no longer run out here on YouTube. It was shut down. I shut it down myself, actually. And why did I feel the need to share how much money I was making? Because I came across other people that were trying to kick me down, were trying to devalue me because they felt I was higher value than them. So when they would ask me, okay, how much money do you make? Oh, you don't make six figures. Oh, you're a liar. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that, right? And when I heard that initially, okay, I used to feed into it and I used to defend myself and say, I make this, I do that, right? Now, that doesn't make a man high value. Me feeling the need to prove how much money I make to anyone, whether it's, people on the internet or people in real life, whether it's a man or a woman, right? Sometimes guys will try to kick you down out here on YouTube and say, oh, you're a broke ass loser, this and that. You don't make that amount of money. How much money do you make? Tell us what you make, right? Okay. You shouldn't feel the need to have to ever show off how much money you make, what kind of car you drive, how big your home is. I will tell you, I've encountered so many people, okay, in my life that have pretended to have certain things because it made them feel better and it allowed them to attract, certain people in their lives that they wouldn't be able to normally attract otherwise. For example, there are guys out there that will pretend to be rich, have a nice house, and have a nice car, and in essence, they're just borrowing that home for a week or two, or borrowing that car for a week or two, and they do that to pick up women that they normally would not be able to get otherwise. Now, I have to ask you guys this. Why would you want to, pretend to be something you're not to get a woman that you would normally not be able to get if you weren't pretending to be, the way, or if you're pretending to be something you're not, which is what I'm trying to say, right? Because what happens in many cases, you pretend to get the girl by being something you're not, right? And then all of a sudden, you unexpectedly start getting feelings for her. She gets feelings for you, right? Then next thing you know, you got to tell her the truth, or she's going to find out, because you're temporarily borrowing that home, you're temporarily borrowing that car, and eventually you're not going to have that. You're going to have what you already have, which is probably far less. What's going to happen when the woman finds out that you lied to her? She's going to not only leave you, but she's going to tarnish your name. She's going to talk a bunch of smack about you, and you're going to get a bad reputation around town, and then no one's going to be able to trust you after that, right? And to be quite frank with you, it's pretty pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic, in my opinion, when men have to pretend to be something they're not because they feel they would not be able to attract certain people into their lives, otherwise, right? Here's the thing, like I always say in my videos, attraction is a must and not a choice. And I think what people need to more so focus on is, what's in the heart and in the soul, and look at someone's personality before you even look at, how much money they make or what resources they have, right? Now, people are going to ask me, well, Eli, okay, that sounds all cool and humble and all that, right? But, what if you really are a broke-ass loser and you don't have any money, you don't have your own house, let's say you're living with friends or with family till you get, on your feet. In all honesty, you have two options at that point. Let's say you're a guy and you're in that situation. Let's say you're living with friends or family. You don't make a whole lot of money, and you humbly speaking, you're a broke ass loser, right? Okay. Do you just not date during that time? Well, you could choose to focus on yourself and take time away from dating, or if you're going to put yourself out there, you need to be honest with the women that you're approaching. And they're either going to accept you and see that, hey, this is your situation right now, but you're building up, and within 6 months to a year, it's going to be better. They're either going to accept that about you, or they're just going to say, we don't date broke ass losers, right? Okay. But do you really want those women in your life anyway? Because a really good woman is going to look at you and see what's in your heart and soul, and see how hard you're working to better yourself, to have more resources. So do you need to have a certain amount of resources to be considered high value? I would have to say, yes, you have to focus on building yourself first, right? And typically what happens with guys, they will start to do this in their 20s, right? If you notice, a lot of guys in their 20s, they're either going to college or studying a trade, or they're just starting a new job. They're not making as much money, but throughout their 20s, they work hard to get promoted through that trade, maybe get into a managerial position, or, they're getting a certification or a degree, and then they're getting into their job, right? And then in their late 20s or early 30s, they have that job, they're making really good money, and their value goes up, right? Okay. And what typically will happen during this time is that women that come across you in your 20s will see, hey, okay, he's a nice guy, he's a good guy, he's cute, but he just doesn't have his shit together. He just, is not making much money. He lives at home, or he lives with friends, doesn't have his own place, right? But you work through that in your 20s, right? And then you have all that in your early 30s, and guess what happens? Those women Those women that passed you by in your 20s are now going to see, oh my God, what happened to you, right? I actually was dating a woman in my mid 20s, I was in a similar situation. I wasn't completely broke or anything like that, but I wasn't making as much money as I do today, right? And we dated for a while, almost a year actually, but then she ended up splitting up with me because she just felt, she didn't tell me, but looking back now, I know why she split up with me because, I wasn't in the best position yet financially. I wasn't broke, but I wasn't in the best position financially. And also, I let myself go. I mentioned this in past videos and I'll say it again. Sometimes my weight has yo-yoed through relationships and I had gained a little bit of weight, right? But what happened? What happened as I entered my 30s, right? As I entered my 30s, this woman found me online and saw that, I had lost the weight. I'd gotten back into really good shape like I was when I first met her. My financial situation was better, and she was just super attracted to me, right? And she reached out to me and I ended up hanging out with her a couple of times, after she reached out. We got together. And we tried to make it work, but she kept on whenever we were out, she kept on looking at me and saying, oh my God, what happened to you? Oh my God. Wow. Like she was just putting me on such a high pedestal after breaking up with me. I think it was 7 years prior to that it made me feel like she was so superficial. It made me feel like the only reason why she was with me was because I fixed all the minor issues I had, which really weren't issues. People go through things and people are building themselves up in their 20s. Men are building themselves up in their 20s. So I just felt it was just a really superficial type of thing. And I just ended up saying, yeah, this is just not going to work for me. I basically, ended up telling her, I don't think we should see each other anymore after a couple of times. And then she told me, she goes, well, I guess you got your revenge, for what I did to you in the past, and I told her, I said, it's not about that. It's just not meant to be, but I wish you the best of luck. Of course, it was kind of about that. It was more about the fact that, she didn't accept me when, I was building myself up in my 20s and because I gained a little bit of weight, right? She didn't accept me, but once I lost the weight and built up my resources and I got into my early 30s, and I was, I guess, the perfect man for her, humbly speaking, now she wanted me. And this woman was actually 5 years older than me. So, when I first had met her, she was 30 and I was 25. And when we rekindled, I believe, I was 32 and she was 37. So, yeah, interesting story, right? So here is the thing, guys, you do not need to feel the need to flex your muscles to be high value. When you flex your muscles, now I see a lot of guys come out here on YouTube, and they're giving dating advice and they're showing off how much money they make. Oh, I have this nice car. Oh, I have this nice house. What do you have? I have this, I have that, right? And in essence, they're flexing their muscles, right? And they're calling themselves alpha males and they're calling themselves high value, okay? In my opinion, that is a big, huge insecurity. Any man that is high value is also going to be very secure within themselves, no matter how much money they make or have, right? They're not going to feel the need to show it off. The thing is, the right people, okay, are going to see how successful you are, and they're not going to even make a big deal out of it. They're going to accept you for you. There's no need for you to show off how much money you have just to try to, just to try to attract people into your life. Guys typically will do this to attract women and to try to kick other men down so that way they can have more of the women, right? Or especially now on social media, especially out here on YouTube, I've had many guys come at me trying to kick me down because they wish they were in as good shape as I am in and have the good life like I have. But see, I never come out here and show off. And I never would show off to these people in the past when I talked with them. I used to do some live stream panels with these people. What I would end up doing is I ended up saying, man, hey, there's no need for any one of us to show off. This is an insecurity. You guys are just projecting your insecurities, right? And then that would trigger them, right? And now, obviously I ignore these people. But, at the end of the day, before I wrap up this video here, okay, a high value man, yes, needs to, be at a certain level financially. You do not need to make $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, okay? But you at least need to make something. Maybe you make 50, 60, 70,000 a year and you live in an area that's not like the San Francisco Bay Area where I live, where you couldn't live with that money. There are areas, in the Midwest and the South, and 50, 60, 70K a year, you can live, quite pretty, right? Okay. So, you still need to be able to make a reasonable amount of income. You need to enjoy what you do. And most importantly, you need to be a happy and positive person. Also, one of the things you want to invest in, that'll show you as a high value man, okay, is the clothing that you wear. Buy some nice clothing, okay? A lot of people that, don't make a whole lot of money, they skimp out on the clothing, right? Okay, if there's something you're going to spend the limited amount of money you have on, it should be your clothing. Your appearance is very important. The way you take care of yourself, being fit and wearing nice clothes, putting on some cologne and all that, wearing some deodorant, right? Maybe buying some nice hats like I do. That's what's going to come off as high value. And women and other people are going to see that you're high value without you having to say anything, as long as you take care of yourself, right? Again, there's no need to flex your muscles and say, I make 100K or I make $1 million per year. This is my mansion here. And, I've got 3 girls that, live with me here. They're all my girlfriends. And look at my Maserati here and my Porsche here and my Ferrari back there, right? And quite frankly, typically that's all staged. Now, there are some guys that do have all that, but even if you have all that, why do you feel the need to show it off? Why? The only reason why guys show things off is because they're insecure, and that's a way to offset their insecurities, right? And let me tell you something, women pick up on that, right? And what happens when women pick up on insecure men that have money and all this? They use these guys to get resources and money and stuff like that. And once they extract as much as they can from that guy, then they kick him to the curb. So in that situation, even though the guy has a high net worth, I wouldn't consider him high value. High value doesn't only mean how much money you make. It's the overall perception of who you are and how you show up, right? How you dress, how you speak, how you treat people, right? That is a high value man. And the most important aspect of being a high value man, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is being humble and having humility, right? And also being secure within yourself. And when you're like that, people are going to come at you that perceive you to be better than them, and they're going to try to kick you down to their level to make themselves feel better. A high value man is just going to ignore that and say, hey, I'm not here to cause any issues. And hey, guys, I'm sorry that you see me in that way, but best of luck to you. I'm going to let you go, right? You're not going to feel the need to call them out or prove them wrong. You're just going to be secure within yourself. That's what a high value man is. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for taking the time to view this video. Another video is coming to this channel soon. Please like, share, subscribe. bang the bell, select the notifications, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.